Okay, hi everyone. So we'll be starting with a video, and that will be followed by Death by PowerPoint. All right, so what you just seen was our promo video that we shot in Chernobyl in the happier pre-corona times. We are Komorny Reality, and we are on the intersection between all of the cool emerging technologies. So it's not just crypto, it's drones, it's DIY hardware, and it's augmented reality and the metaverse as well. So first, let me introduce what we are actually about. We started very humble beginnings in a friend's kitchen, literally on one kitchen table, 5 to 6 years ago in 2015. And we've been, from that point, we've been, we never considered ourselves like, okay, like this is something we can be turning eventually into any sort of serious business. It was all open source from the start. Who wanted to come aboard? By all means, let's join and let's start working on this cool thing. These drones, what you saw in the video, and what you will see in on the next slides as well. So, as the time progressed, we of course did hackathons where we introduced more and more concepts, more and more technology. Bluetooth beacons, ultra wideband. I would go too much into tech details, but we possess quite serious technical background, as you will see on the slides as well. All right, Berlin is, as you know, is a quite famous city for European city for startups and both hardware, crypto. The scene is quite lively there. But for us, it was at that point of time. It was since the project was still in the open source phase. We weren't basically the finances weren't ending up. And with the founding members moved with the movement of the founding members to the west, to the east actually, to the Ukraine, we decided to move the whole project from Berlin to Ukraine, Western Ukraine, Lviv as well. All right, so moving on, in 2019, we started working on furthering our use case, what we actually want to do with this robots or with this drones and this technology. And we realized there's a huge segment in physical gaming, not in digital one, that hasn't been touched by any innovation for years, almost decades. And that segment is live action gaming, airsoft, paintball, basically any sort of live action shooting game that you use some sort of arenas or friends to engage in some sort of pretended hostilities, so to speak. Moving on, we started working on the turret prototype in June 2019. You saw one of the prototypes in the Chernobyl video. And quickly we realized that the turrets, or basically like the ground forces, aren't enough. So what do we need else? We need something that flies, right? We are not yet in most of these airsoft and paintball games don't take place at sea or at rivers. So we realized we need to go there. And as you saw in the video, there was the development of the drone gunship prototype. And also that was shortly followed by the shooting the video in Chernobyl. In 2020, we opened our first physical location in Lviv, in Western Ukraine. The showroom is currently full of our prototypes, of our products that you can see there. Unfortunately, as everybody we know, in March 2020, the whole coronavirus shut us down. So we've been basically, we have this nice showroom in Lviv that we yet still haven't had a good use for, but we hope that will change with the uplifting of restrictions. All right, and also we can see from the start of the last year, from May 2020, we started dabbling with augmented reality, which was what you see there. The Komorny Boyd was augmented arena concept. We want to put augmented reality glasses on players for these live action games and for airsoft and paintball games. And now, finally, in our current phase, where we started to add crypto use cases for us, and we believe the metaverse. We are taking a little bit of different approach to the metaverse. If you're familiar, the title of the talk is moving beyond Pokemon Go. So what Pokemon Go actually does is they built this AR world. You are looking at augmented reality through a phone screen, right? And you can do it anywhere you are. You don't have to be dressed for the occasion. You don't have to be in some sort of specially designated playing zone. It's just you pick up your phone, and then you fall in a ditch. If you've seen any news that there have been a lot of Pokemon Go players, that's actually why when it got first famous a couple of years ago, when a lot of players started falling into ditches and from the bridges while they were chasing the Pokemons. So we actually look at this like, okay, perhaps there might be a different approach how to actually achieve or conjure the metaverse. So The basis of our approach is we are taking a tangible physical layer, such as the airsoft and the paintball arenas, and then we are mixing them up with the hardware that you already saw in the video. And that would be the major difference from mentioned Pokemon Go, because we really believe you need to start with something physical, tangible. You are already there. You should be there. You're dressed for the game. You have your friends there that are also dressed for the game, and you should be basically no other reason for you to be there just to play the game. And on top, we follow with the first abstract layer, which is software. So in our case, it would be a suite of applications for smartphones that aim to take the if you're familiar with any online shooter, all of your Battlefields, Call of Duties, all of the stuff, Fortnites, we basically are taking the matchmaking and the game orchestration layer, and we are putting it in the smartphone application for the players, live in their field. So suddenly, if you've ever been, I'm a former professional Counter-Strike player and also airsoft fan and a paintball player, and what I've been always missing is communication. Just a really simple means how to communicate. The level of games all across the board is it's very uneven, right? You have your players who scrunch together $200-300, get their first shooter, their first rifle, and some gear. That's tactical pants that he uses for fishing, stuff like that. And then on the other end, you have the professionals who basically recreate the special forces, militaries, and they are spending thousands of dollars for this equipment. And part of this equipment is, of course, part of this equipment is, of course, the communication, walkie-talkies that we use. And this is the first thing that we solve with our software is the communication between players. Simple application on Android or iOS paired with a cheap Bluetooth earphone, and suddenly you have now means to communicate with all of your team. Which also gets me to the other part of the application: player rankings, player stats, matchmaking. We are heavily focused on developing the esports scene with our gaming platform as well. And esports players will be probably the biggest group that will be interested in the professional solutions that we have. All right, moving on. The last part of the pyramid is AR, augmented reality. If you've been to the previous talk, you've seen there was the word metaverse being thrown around, and this is where we actually come in with our with the final step of the pyramid. So now you have these arenas. Now you have this cool hardware. Now you have supporting software to play in a game like this. And the last step of the pyramid is the actual Conreality. What Conreality stands for? It stands for consensus reality, meaning it's the reality that we all agree upon at this very moment, and it's usually very, very temporary in nature. This is the site of our first B2B customers that we already signed. Obviously, you need a lot of space in order to be able to place all these robots, all these turrets for players to get their tactics, get their strategies, and the arena operators like this. Again, this is our first B2B partner. They have been very forthcoming when they saw what we are actually dealing with. They basically signed with them immediately. And if you are airsoft or paintball player, come talk to me. If you want to see something like this, something what we are doing, come see me, and after the talk, and we can chat. All right, so this is the just to sum it up. What are we dealing with? Arena robotics, custom drones, turrets, and small vehicles. You already saw the drone and turrets. The small vehicles are still, for the time, we abandoned the small vehicles. I'll admit it was because of the factor of the cool. Definitely the drones and turrets look much cooler than those tiny cars. But we are getting to them eventually as well. What else? Custom player equipment, big guns, custom guns, and arena gear. And already mentioned arena glasses. So. Originally, what we planned to bring one of these, we call this a little monster. We wanted to bring this here from Ukraine, but unfortunately, European Union customs weren't very happy about when they saw this in the car, so it had to stay. It had to stay outside of European Union. But as you see, our audiovisual team, they acted very quickly. They took it back to our HQ and they shot this video, which showcases what it actually does and how it looks. All right. So for the next portion of the hardware, this specifically relates to the big guns and to the player gear. We took it from a little bit from the fashion sense. Paris is a fashion city, so our two very charming models, Esmeralda wearing an airsoft minigun based on the M134 Vulcan, and Psycho Killer Black, and here Yolanda dressed in the concept of the player armor that we eventually want the players to use in their games. And as you see, he's also wearing HoloLens, which I have here as well. And for the Q&A, we have some cool live NFT presentation for you guys in store. So there should be plenty of time to show you the actual NFT concept in the game. All right, this is one of our other partners that we partnered with. As you see, these guys are focused on creating augmented reality glasses for rugged environment. So it's mostly law enforcement officers and firefighters, and basically any sort of rugged environment where you would need something you can drop, you can spill water on, or even shoot a small caliber projectile into it. I can speak a little bit more about the. I mentioned HoloLens. So how all of this actually ties together. The HoloLens, perhaps some of you know, HoloLens is a strictly device used for development. It will probably never become a consumer device. It's really not easily achievable, not ready for mass market, very hard to get, but the development features are already there, and it's already suitable for the coming future. You will also see on the coming slides. But basically, Apple has a big one, is cooking a big one already patented for 2022. We are expecting a major AR glasses launch from Apple, which should kickstart the augmented reality glasses evolution. All right, a little bit overview of the software. What you see, these are the mock-ups from the application and the summary of the functionality. Not sure if you can see me from here. Already mentioned team comps, matchmaking, player profile, stats, and we are slowly approaching the actual crypto in the crypto and augmented reality. One of the last partners regarding software, perhaps some of you are familiar with Avatar SDK. They have a very neat and very simple solution how to create your own personalized 3D avatars. This is done from one picture, and as you see, and roughly 15 seconds of computing time of your standard 2020 mid-market smartphone. So this is pretty impressive. And of course, we would want players to start creating these avatars and actually replace themselves for the games itself. And slowly, and not just for our games, but for other platforms as well, where they can use digital representations of themselves instead of their player or the standard pictures. All right, so moving to the intersection of the crypto augmented reality and the metaverse. So just as we believe that Ethereum, with most of you will be familiar with these two lines or these two technical terms, ERC20, ERC721. But I'm assuming most of you are not familiar with the augmented reality part of the metaverse, which we assume will be GLTF and GLB. These two are the 3D model formats, and in the Q&A session, basically what you will see in those, when you put on the HoloLens, those are basically the GLTF files modeled as 3D models in augmented reality, or holograms, so to speak. So we deem these two to be the basic building blocks of the metaverse. And to further prove my point, I've selected a couple of use cases, like why would you use crypto for something like this? Like why just don't go with the SQL database, right? The usual stuff. Well, what we want to do is, of course, we don't want to, and we see this. Of course, I'm not pointing fingers or anything, but we see a little bit of this king of the silo mindset, where everybody tries to build their own solution, and then, but in our estimation, it actually only hampers user and the developer acquisition and increase for your project. So you will see we don't have even we are at this moment we are chain agnostic. I won't go too much into technical details, but we want to basically to start doing partnerships with other projects. I already talked to the Boson folks. I don't see them there, but yeah, we are very open to partnerships in this space. But when it comes to NFTs, FTs, doesn't really matter. Okay, so for some arguments, if you anybody, I assume gamers, at least some, if you're familiar with any sort of traditional premium currency, it's usually either it's devalued or as we see, you cannot really use it anywhere. You cannot do with it anything besides using it in the company store and the company's game, and it doesn't really do anything beyond just generating revenue for the company. And if you follow that the newest development in blockchain, in the gaming blockchain innovations, then if you're following stuff like Axie Infinity, you see like there's already pretty functioning play-to-earn model. From what I read on crypto Twitter, there's already players in countries like I think it's Philippines or Bangladesh, out earning their average monthly salaries just by farming these Axies. And we believe that we are quite hedged against any sort of if you're familiar with the terminology, any sort of grind. Like if anybody has the stamina to play airsoft game 24 hours or 16 hours, then go to sleep and play again. Like by all means, I'm pretty sure the arenas will be just happy that they will sell a lot of BBs and a lot of paintballs. All right, so moving on. Oops. This is our implementation of for the fungible token in the game. You will see for the Q&A session for the live HoloLens presentation, we are using actually this representation of, we call it credit sheet. If any of you played any sort of sci-fi cyberpunk game, basically the credit sheets are those single swipe cards you find thrown somewhere, you approach, boop, plus 100 credits. That's how they work. And we have them here prepared in augmented reality later. We named the token. The spelling is Cypher, and as I understand, we are in the Ethereum conference, and folks in Ethereum doesn't have the problem, but there's just something delicious, you know, the Komorny Federal Reserve. It drives all the Bitcoin maxis just mad, you know, when they see Federal Reserve written in the name of the token. Okay, for this part, we are teaming up with the professional gaming studios, the game design studio from Kiev called Room 8, just to focus on the game economy part of the whole project. We really want to make sure that we don't create just another shitcoin, so to speak. We really focused on creating the game economy in such a way that it will have both the deflationary and inflationary parts. As of this moment, we've been discussing creating a DAO, but then we actually realized that at this point it doesn't make any sense. If we see there's a push from the community to go into this space, I mean, of course we are open, but at this moment we don't see basically any reason to go the DAO way. All right, the NFT use case, which is pretty interesting as well. If you've attended any blockchain gaming talk, you probably saw a lot of companies work on the cross-platform development for multiple blockchains for their ERC 721 tokens. What is actually the original part in that we are adding in is the unique game scenarios part. So we want the players to create their own unique game scenarios that they will be able to package as an NFT and sell them, either trade them with other players, put them as a stake in the live action game, or put it on an online NFT marketplace and somebody can buy it and play this game in their arena, in their part of the world. Live action treadmill, yes. Okay, now here's the NFT in-game concept that you'll be able actually to fiddle with these 3D models as well. But I'd like to show you like how does it actually look in terms like we have some sort of technical difficulties. So as you see, there's still some wonkiness with the interaction, the gestures, and by the way, this is state of the art, 2020, 2021. the wonkiness is still there. It's obviously it's still not ironed out. The kinks are there, but we deem it's very important for us to already start working on the augmented reality, basically on the parts of the modeling in the augmented reality, placing the models, dealing with the interaction, and such. All right. So, what are the actual reasons for augmented reality to use? Already mentioned the physical games, and again, it's not just these aggressive shooty games like airsoft and paintball. There's all, I don't know, what have you, hide and seek, treasure hunts. Like the digital innovation hasn't touched this industry probably since the start. So there's like 2,000 years, 5,000 whatever of people just using their imagination when playing their physical games. And then a short span, 20, 30 years of digital games. And digital games got extremely interesting over a short period of time. And if you actually ask, probably even for you, like, would you like to put some gear in, let's take the fantasy settings, some swords, some armor and helmet, and slap each other in the forest, or do you want to just stay comfy in your house and play whatever RPG or RPG or games like that? So this is what we address, like with the addition of augmented reality. We want the games, the physical gaming, the live action gaming, to become interesting and perhaps even more interesting than the digital games itself. Also, the second point, we can already see, and this goes back also to the metaverse part. We already see the parts of the digital board, like it's like almost like they are trying to break out from their digital prison. The players playing the physical games, playing the airsoft and paintball games, they're already taking these elements from the shooters, from your battlefields, and we see when we travel around and we ask even these arena operators, they are quite desperate just with the fact, like, it gets pretty boring. There's no other way around it. You can only have so much fun when you have a team of 5 to 10 guys and you are shooting at each other in exactly the same way. Okay, round 1, round 5, round 10, and what now? Right. So this is the point where the customization and the replayability and all of basically all of the cool factors that you see in the online shooters that have their place in. These elements have naturally their place in the physical gaming as well. I would like to talk a little bit more about the metaverse, namely the augmented reality part. For that, I borrowed a couple of slides from Neil Trevet's talk from 3 months ago. It's very interesting from the point of view that we are at a crypto conference, right? And these guys, they were at their own. I think this was probably either SIGGRAPH or some 3D graphics or computer graphics related conference. And yet they already perceive the metaverse to be like the part that is missing is crypto, and you will see on the coming slides. For a little bit of short of definition for those of you who don't know, I think at the third day of conference, it has to be, you had to heard it multiple. Nobody knows exactly like what is nanotechnology, what is I don't know, a couple of other technological aspects. Like everybody at this point, everybody has their own definition for metaverse, but usually, as you see, it relates to Neil Stephenson 1992 book Snow Crash, where it was first mentioned. And generally speaking, like we are heavily influenced by the cyberpunk and the cyberpunk genre. And this is exactly the slide that I was talking about. And as you see, online economies and currencies. And again, these guys, these are computer graphics guys. These are not. They have nothing in common with crypto or anything. And yet they already perceive that something like a cryptocurrency would be and should be part of the metaverse as well. So, what do we have the actual current challenges from the obvious ones that you saw? The HoloLens, it was very hard to acquire. In last year, 2020, the coronavirus managed almost impossible to acquire, but we pulled through. We got a couple, and from there on, we started developing these concepts and these 3D models. Also mentioned Apple for the next year coming with their AR flagship device. A lot of people are pointing towards to be the big breakthrough AR event for 2022. We'll see. Also mentioned the ecosystem, the consolidation. You have plenty of small players. Most of the big players, your HTCs, Facebooks, Oculus, they're still. I wouldn't say locked, but they're still dealing with VR instead of AR. We believe the AR will be much bigger than VR for a very simple reason. In AR, you still can trip when wearing these augmented reality glasses, but in VR, it's absolutely guaranteed that you cannot leave the room. You need to have the boundaries, right? So it's not so easy to have the same kind of experiences for VR as in AR. I would. For here, I would also like to point. If you Google Cura-Gallium, there are very bold underdogs challenging the whole. So far, it looks like they are vaporware, but we'll see. We'll give them a shot. If you Google the term, you'll see they have the most impressive implementation of the AR glasses so far. Biggest field of view. I would say also cheapest, lightest. Okay, that's it. So 2 minutes left. Already over. All right. So it seems like we won't have time for the live NFT presentation, but just to take the edge off from all the guns and evil killer robots and evil AI, we created a spin-off of of our project, and this is specifically for the younger children. So something they can enjoy in augmented reality.
Thank you. So if you have any question, you feel free to meet him at the conference.